Hey, how you doing today? Welcome to King Legend Talks. How you feeling?
I'm actually feeling pretty good. Actually, honestly, I'm a little under the weather, but I feel okay.
Okay. Well, we praying for you to get back to the way you were 100% ASAP.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, look, we got a lot to talk about today.
For sure.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for joining King Legend Talk. I like to give people their flowers early because you've definitely been doing your thing. You're inspiring a lot of people and breaking barriers.
Thank you. I try a little bit.
Absolutely. So, everybody, this is Santia Deck, aka the Queen of Abs, aka the highest paid female athlete in the history of football. Congratulations, by the way,
Thank you.
and entrepreneur. I mean, like, how many bags are you in right now? For real.
I mean, I just try to do like honestly, whatever I feel like I want to get into, I try my best to do it. I just live my life with no regrets, and I just feel like life is too short, so why not do everything?
Absolutely. That's definitely the attitude to have. Now, you were born in Greenville, South Carolina, but raised in Houston, Texas. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So what was that like? What was it like to grow up in Houston, Texas? Like, share a little light on us for the people that may not know.
Oh man, like honestly, Houston is literally the best place on earth. Sorry to everybody else. Um, but honestly, growing up in Texas was amazing. I mean, it's football country, so our weekends was definitely full of football, track. Track is also big in, Texas as well.
Hmm.
And we were just busy. We were busy people. Like, my parents were entrepreneurs, so they were doing their thing. And like I said, all my siblings played sports, so we were somewhere all the time. Like my summers were never normal. I was running track in the summer most of the time. Or my
Hmm.
brothers were doing football camps or whatever. So it was just full of being athletes and just moving around a lot, to be honest.
Absolutely. And she being so modest right now. She said, I was just running track. Listen, you got a full
What?
track and field scholarship to Texas A&M University. That's not somebody that's just running track. You were really doing your thing out there. You
I
know,
mean,
I
kind of.
tried to run track in school and it felt good. Like when you can get the arms going and you can feel
Yeah.
the wind rushing past you, you feel like you're flying. So I will say I experienced that maybe once or twice in my life. But the win and get a scholarship, that had to have been a huge accomplishment for like not only you but for your family as well.
For sure, for sure. It was definitely awesome. I was the first in my family to get well, my older brother, he would have been, but he got injured. But I was the
Okay.
first one to get a full ride and finish in 4 years. So
Wow.
it was really it was amazing. It was definitely breaking generational curses, and that's what I'm all about.
Absolutely. Breaking generational curses and barriers between everybody. Listen, if you don't know, she has broken so many barriers. I don't want to get too into it too early, but I definitely want to tap in on it because you doing things that most people wouldn't be comfortable with, for starters.
Yeah,
I can definitely tell you are the type of person that really is focused, and when you have that focus, you go for it.
for sure.
Um, so how do you apply that to sports for starters? Being a female football player, like how does that even work for you? Like I know it was a lot of times people probably was football. Nah, stop playing.
That's
So
awesome. That's now.
right. So what is that like for you?
I have I'm a super ambitious and persistent person. I've had a lot of injuries, including now I'm suffering from an ACL injury.
Hmm.
And it taught me the meaning of like how bad do you want it?
Hmm.
And I was like, at what 8, 9 years old, I knew I wanted to be. I thought I was gonna be an Olympian. I still feel like I'll be an Olympian one day.
Hmm.
But I was writing down, when they say, "What do you want to be?" Mine was always an Olympian. So
Right.
like, I felt like it was almost destiny for me because me and my twin brother, we were like unnaturally muscular as kids. It was crazy. Like we were just like just super muscular like at 2 years old. So I feel
Right.
like some people are just put on earth to do certain things, and that was kind of what it was for us.
Right.
So I felt like that I had a greater purpose in sports. It wasn't just to be out there winning or losing, whatever it may be. It was like there's some lesson that you're gonna be able to teach people one day that would
Hmm.
change the game. And so for me, I always was like, this isn't for me. It's not about
Right.
me. It's for future generations. It's for, the people that need it. And so it's hard for me to just let it go and to give
Hmm.
up, because I'm like, okay, if I do this, I'm giving up on part of what I'm put on this earth to do. So for
Yeah.
me, it's just about, it's about what I'm supposed to be here doing, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's all about purpose, and then it's fueled by passion. So, as
Hmm.
far as where you at today, did you ever see yourself making it to this level? Like, you know how sometimes we have expectations, and our expectations could already have the bar high. But when
Yeah.
you go past that bar that you already set high, how does that feel?
Man, to be honest, I know this sounds bad, but as soon as I accomplish something, I'm like on to the next thing. So I feel
Right.
like I'm not satisfied until, like, I don't know when I'm gonna be satisfied, honestly. But I mean, it feels good to see like your hard work actually
Hmm.
turn into, like, it, like turning, it turning into fruition. Like you get to see like what you worked hard for. You get to see like why you had to go through all the pain and, the trauma, whatever it may have been. So seeing
Hmm.
that, okay, like, I now realize why I had to have that injury. I now realize why I had to lose those people around me. So seeing that come to life, I was like, wow, like, it's amazing. So
Right.
I will say, like, it feels good. But I still feel like it's so much more work for me to do.
Absolutely. And I love how you kind of touch bases on how now you can kind of understand why you may have had to go through that injury. It was a lesson that you learned from that experience in your life.
Hmm.
Similar to me, I had COVID and I ended up spending 12 days on a ventilator.
Oh wow.
And but the breaking point was after I made it through all of that stuff, through the grace of God, by the way. After I made it through all of that stuff, that's when this podcast was born.
Hmm.
And my life was in a whole different direction, like,
Yeah,
whole
that'll
different
happen.
direction.
Hmm.
And it was like that situation is the reason this platform even was born.
Right.
So sometimes certain lessons we go through in life can have an impact on our future
Yeah,
directly. And
exactly.
so you may have learned a lesson in that injury that unless you have gone through that, you wouldn't have gotten, you know.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
so I think it's important for people to understand that when they go through struggle in life, because I embrace struggle at this point in my life because I know there's a lesson to be learned.
Exactly, exactly. I 100% agree. Even now, I was supposed to have a good season. I was going in there ready, ready to break some records and do all this different stuff. And then I
Hmm.
got this ACL injury, and I'm not gonna lie, at first, like, it was mentally, it was tough. I was
Hmm.
definitely in a dark place because I'm like, man, like, I was supposed to play in 2020. I was supposed to play last year. Then I
Hmm.
got this chance to play this year, and then it's like, boom, now I got this season ending injury, and
Yeah.
it was rough. It was rough for me, but honestly, I probably hit one of my lowest lows in my life. But out
Hmm.
of that, I have been able to do so much more and
Right.
give so much more of myself to different areas in my life that I might not been able to because I was being an athlete. And it's been, and like
Absolutely.
now I'm able to embrace, like, even more so the entrepreneur side of what I do, and even
Hmm.
give back even more, and things like that. So, like, again, you never know. Like, I feel like God has a funny way of, like, kind of shifting, you into whatever direction you're supposed to be in, not what you
Hmm.
feel like you're supposed to be, but what you really are, like his destiny and his, reasoning for creating you. And I feel like for me, I had to realize, and I'm not gonna lie, it's tough as an athlete to say you're more than an athlete,
Yeah.
because that was for me. I was like, man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Forgetting that I worked all these years to create the brand that I have, the shoe company, and then I just felt
Absolutely.
like God said, hey, look, you are more than just this. Let me show you now. You got to sit
Right.
down. Like, I was sat down twice, three times, because I had COVID. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, God, I'm listening now, and now I'm here.
That's also important because a lot of times when we got so much going on in our lives, it's like God sometimes will take that opportunity just to have you listen. Because when you're going 1,000 miles per hour, you're so focused, like it's tunnel vision.
Exactly.
Sometimes he's like, yo, hit the brakes, let me
Yes.
talk to you for a moment.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
you'll start to realize that you have more than one purpose sometimes in life.
Mhm.
He won't give you more than you can bear. So that's one thing I will say from the experiences that I've gone through, from what I've definitely hear you've gone through. It's always important just to remember, like, hey, we're doing this for a reason, and it's not for us, it's for others. You know,
Exactly.
it's a
Exactly.
big deal. So to play at the level of professional sports you're at, you obviously have to be fit, and AKA the queen of abs. Where did that whole idea and concept come from?
Honestly, so when I was in college, that's like when I started like building my brand. I got on Instagram like a year, actually 2 years later, I think.
Hmm.
And at first it was just for fun, like everybody was just posting pictures and selfies and duck lips or whatever.
Hmm.
But then I started posting like my track and field workouts that we were doing at school, and people started being like, "Man, like you got some really ripped abs for a girl." And
Right.
um and honestly, like I didn't really think nothing of it, but it started to kind of spread, and then I started being posted on all these fitness pages and these big, media pages and stuff. I went
Hmm.
viral a few times, and then once I hit around like I believe it might have been like 50K, my mom, who's
Hmm.
also my manager and the COO of my shoe company, she
Wow.
was like, "Let's
Shout out to moms.
right." She was like, "Let's turn this into a brand."
Right.
And at first I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, like, what would you want to be called?" And I was like, I don't know, like maybe Princess of Abs." And she was like, "Why be a princess when you can be a queen?" So then
Ooh, I
so
like
really
that.
my mom, and then people just, coining me like the ab lady or whatever. So, yeah,
Hmm.
so definitely my mom and I guess the people that supported me.
Absolutely, and I love the design of your shoes. By the way, I gotta
Thank
say
you,
that they're fire. I love them.
thank you, thank you.
So, as far as what's next, what are your goals set for right now?
Um, man, I have so much in store to be honest. A lot of it I can't even talk about right now. But we have some really, really big things that we're gonna be doing with our shoe company. We
Hmm.
actually just got our shoes, and so we're partnering with East Bay right now. So we're in East Bay. But we
Okay.
just got our shoes in the new store that's I think it's like right outside of Miami, the Champ slash East Bay store. So we're actually gonna have like a little launch party out there to, let everybody know our shoes is in there. They can go try them on, buy them, and everything in person. And we have some other things going on that is even more exciting that I can't talk about yet. So I'll just say stay tuned. Um, but I also have a book that I'm gonna be dropping soon, my second book. So I'm
Okay.
super excited. It's about my life. I'm gonna be doing a documentary as well. I have a CBD company that I'm gonna be launching in a few months as well. And a lot of other things. But
Oh my
honestly,
goodness,
I'm just on go. It's go mode right now.
the list goes on and on. Like that was at least 20 things you just named. Some people don't know what they're doing next week.
Man, I just live life in a different way, man. I appreciate life, so I'm like, look, if I get to wake up another day, I get to try to figure out something new to do.
Absolutely. So, what advice would you have for somebody that may be going through certain situations where they may not have the confidence to go follow their dreams? What would you tell that person?
Honestly, my motto for life is if you want to go get it. um you know Anything that's worth having is not gonna be easy to attain.
Hmm.
And that was kind of like the story of my life, because I had so many like failures after failure after failure. And if I would have said, man, this is too much, man, this is not meant for me, or man, I don't deserve this or whatever, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So to me it's about, again, how bad do you want it? Do you want it more than you want to breathe? All of that stuff. And life is meant to be challenging because everybody has to have a story. So,
Hmm.
I always tell people that like everybody has to have a story. If everybody was able to like wake up one day and say, I want to be a millionaire, then the next day they were a millionaire, that's not inspiring. That's not entertaining. That's not changing somebody's life. But when you can say,
Right.
man, I went through all these obstacles, I had to go through all these valleys, and now I'm here. You don't know who you're touching, who you're inspiring to get up off the couch, who you're inspiring to do whatever. So for me, it's just about, the story, and again, just showing people that it's possible, because a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know that a lot of things are possible. So you got to have a story.
Absolutely. Now, what about faith? Like, as far as right now, how has that played a role into your success so far in your life?
Oh man, my faith is everything. I knew God at a very, very young age. I've had a relationship with God since I was young, and everything that I do is literally for His glory.
Hmm.
And it's not. That's why I always say it's not about me, because it's really not. At the end of the day, my goal is to get to the pearly gates, You're sitting
Right.
next to the king on the throne. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like
Absolutely.
it's a sin to not use every single talent that he's given me.
Mhm.
So, and it's so many people that I personally that were close to me that aren't here, that aren't able to live out those dreams that they may have or use those talents. And something somebody told me that has always stuck with me is like, don't ever be that person that when you pass and they go to the grave, your dreams and your purpose is not in that casket with you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's like you need to use everything and give back to the world and inspire somebody else to do the same thing. So for me, it's just about living out my purpose and hopefully inspiring somebody to come to Jesus, to know Jesus and understand his power and his glory and everything else that I have. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I wake up every day to do.
Absolutely. I love to hear it. Jesus has played a huge role in my life and everything that I've got going on right now. It didn't really start to take that impact or that effect until I put him first in my life.
Yes.
Once I put him first in my life and let him lead, got me through so many different
Mm,
situations. I was like,
amen.
man, this is where it's at right now. You
Right,
know
it's,
what I'm saying?
it's where I need to be.
Like people tripping, they got it twisted. This
I'm
is definitely
saying.
the way
I
it's
be trying
supposed
to
to
tell
be.
people, I'm like, man, if you really like let go and let God for, I know that sounds so cliche, but the
Yeah.
moment I really started doing that, I was like, whoa, like what
It's
have I
because
been
he
doing all
listens.
my life?
It's
Yeah.
because he really hear you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like when you're going
Mhm.
through problems and struggles, a lot of people they don't understand. This is what I always tell people. You know, people got their own demons that they're dealing with, battles that they're fighting in their own personal lives. But one thing about God is he already know what you're going through.
He
So
already
most of the
know.
time when you go to him, he already know. He just waiting
He
on you.
waiting. He
You
waiting with
know what I'm
open
saying?
arms, like, okay, you ready now?
He's
And
like,
that's what I felt
finally.
like. Exactly. And that's what I felt like in so many different ways. Like definitely with this whole with the sports and stuff, man. Like, because even outside of this injury right now, like in 2019 I was on an Olympic journey with
Hmm.
rugby. I was killing it. I
Absolutely.
finally got the chance to get in front of the USA coach, and I was burnt out. Like I literally had the worst try of my life. So I
Yeah.
didn't end up making the team. And I remember I went through a depression, and I remember just crying like every day. My mom was like, "Look, you either gonna lay here and die, or you're gonna get up and give it to God." And she
Ooh.
said that so many times. I was like, "What does that really mean?" And I remember
Yeah.
she said, just pray, and tell him like I'm giving everything to you. Like I'm letting go. Like I'm letting you take the reins over my life. And I remember I said, you know what? I'm gonna actually do that because I don't know how much lower I can go at this point. So I
Right.
remember that night. I really like sat there and just cried my soul out, and I was like, God, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but whatever it is, I'm trusting you. I'm giving you everything. I'm giving you the reins over my life, and I'm just letting go. And I remember the
Right.
next day, I felt like the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders. And I remember
Ab-
telling people the best way to explain how I felt. Oh well, hold on. So then after that, let me say 2 months after that, that's when I got the call about the contract and everything for football, and my
mhm.
life had changed. And I remember the analogy, like, and I'm sure everybody saw this on social media. It was like a picture of a little boy that had a tiny teddy bear behind his back. And it was like this
Mhm.
figure that was supposed to be God that had a huge teddy bear. And
Yeah,
the
I
little
know
boy was
exactly what
like,
you're talking about.
yeah, the little boy was like, but God, this is all I have. Not knowing that he has something so much bigger and better. And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And ever since then I was like, yeah, this is where it's at.
You know
Forget
that's
what I
so
want to do. Forget
powerful.
forget what I want to do. It's about what he want to do, what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. One thing to remember for a lot of people that's listening is that if every door was open, sometimes you will never walk down the hallway.
Mm.
Because if you will
Yep.
never walk down the hallway, you're not going to see what's in the other room because you went to the first door that was open.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's deep. I appreciate you so much for sharing that with us today.
For sure.
So
For sure.
so as far as right now, you got a lot going on. You got like 25, 30, maybe 50 million things going on. Um, what is the most precious thing to you right now in your life? Like, what are some of the most precious things to you?
Man. Well, it goes without saying my relationship with God.
Of course.
Um, but my family, like my family, honestly, like getting to spend more time with my family has just been amazing. Um, Getting to spend more time with myself has been amazing.
Hmm.
And really, really focusing on like, what if I can no longer be an athlete? Focusing on what's next for Santia Deck if I don't go back to playing sports. So like
Hmm.
really finding out more about myself and not focusing on just like I said, just being an athlete. And I feel like that has been so valuable for me because I found so much more self love and self worth. Like
Right.
now that I can't associate my life with sports right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like okay, I will be okay. Like if today was my last day or this after this injury, I'm no longer going back to sports, I will be okay. And I couldn't say
Mm-hmm.
that a month ago. I couldn't say that honestly probably less than a month ago.
Right.
But right now I'm like, okay, I'm content. Like I'm content with just like focusing on the other side of Santia and not track baby because track baby is an athlete, but Santia Deck.
Right.
And loving that part of me and really realizing like that's gonna be the part that impacts the world more, than
Mm-hmm.
just me going out running and scoring touchdowns and scoring, all, whatever else I'm doing, playing rugby, flag football. The other part, which is like showing people that there's life after sports and helping people get through that phase because it's not easy. I think
Yeah.
some people have to realize like as an athlete, when you and definitely when it's not on your terms, like an injury,
Mm-hmm.
you are fighting so much mentally that you can't even sometimes see like a way out of it.
Yeah.
And like realizing that I had to find myself within all that trauma and that just pain and fear and everything else has been one of the most beautiful experiences ever. So for me, that's what I want to continue to show people and hopefully inspire and just help guide some of these athletes because you're losing a part of your identity almost. Like we have so
Right.
much of our identity in that sport
Mm-hmm.
that when it's over, it's like, who am I? Like for real, like who am I? Definitely, if you like, I've been playing sports since I was 4.
Yeah.
So like that's all people have known me as is like, oh, that little girl that played this sport. Oh, and now I'm a grown woman, that grown woman that played football. So it's like everything has been associated with sports. So imagine, like I said, the little boys that start pee wee football at like what was it,
You
4 or
giving you
5?
giving it your whole life.
Yeah. So like it's a
Yeah.
journey, but I think people need to talk about it more because
Mm-hmm.
that mental health aspect of that is real. I know
Yeah.
so many NFL players that have mental breakdowns because they're like, I've been doing it since I was 5. And now I don't know what I'm doing next because they got an injury or they got cut. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people got to remember that when you have that certain level of success when it comes to playing sports, without even asking for it, sometimes you end up putting the city on your back. Like
Yeah.
whatever school you went to, everyone's rooting for you in your corner.
Hmm.
And let's say you make it all the way through college, but when you get to that professional level, you don't do as good as everyone hoped
Yeah.
for. Now you
Hmm.
got to go back to your city,
And they're like,
and
you a flop.
everyone's yeah, so that is a
Yeah,
lot to deal
it
with
is.
mentally, and
Hmm.
so many players deal with that on the regular.
And don't talk
Having your
about it.
life change, yeah, like even when it comes to just getting cut off of a team, you done moved your whole family or whatever the case may be, and then boom, you cut. It's like whoa.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do?
So
Like,
it's very stressful for a lot of people. So
it
I
is.
I think that's something to definitely raise awareness about because they really go through it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So just to leave it on a positive and a happy and a good note, share us a word, that could inspire somebody that may be listening to this right now.
I'm gonna say it again. If you want to go get it. If you want to
Absolutely.
go get it, that's the word of the day. Or the
Absolutely.
phrase of the day.
And plug in where everyone can find your stuff.
So of course I can find me on Instagram, trackbaby001. If you guys want to check out my shoes, it's tronosofficial.com, TRONUS official.com. If you want to find out more about me, you can go to my personal website, which is queenofapps.com. And our social media is Tronos Official pretty much everywhere. And yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for tapping in on King Legend Talk. It's an amazing honor to have you here today. And I already know your future is already on that path to success because you're going to keep reaching new goals and hitting new heights.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Big one, huh?
He ain't enough to just be a king.
And you got the lion in the background, boy. You's a dangerous guy, man.
You are put through the fire. The only thing that kept me going was I knew it was going to happen. I believed it was going to happen.
So I used to print out that list and I would put my name at the top. I would white out the person on the top and I'd put my name. And I would print out that list and I'd keep it in my pocket for the next 4 months until one day the email that I got had my name at the top. So